This is pretty poetic. This is episode 500 of my daily digital marketing podcast, 500 days in a row. I started this podcast 500 days ago. I was inspired by the Indie Hackers podcast. The Indie Hackers podcast would have on all of these great indie builders, solopreneurs, maybe small teams, and they talked about how they got their first customers. And I loved that. And so for episode 500 of this show, 500 days in a row, I said, I want to find a great story or a great article from indiehackers.com. The brand that inspired me to create this podcast, sharing marketing stories and exact how-tos, the brand that inspired me to create this podcast, I'm going to find something good from them to share on my 500th episode. I came across this article which looked good. It was called Meet the Indie Hackers Killing It on TikTok by Stefan Flanders, written 2 days ago, November 14th, 2024. I started reading it and I immediately loved it. I said, this is great. It shares great examples. And I'm reading and I'm scrolling and I get to the end. And at the end, it says places to learn more. And then it says, if you don't have the time or mental fortitude to scroll for hours on end, in order to find lots of inspiration, I recommend following. So he lists out marketers who provide good information. And he lists out IMGDSA. And I'm like, oh, IMGDSA, I share his stuff on this podcast all the time. I make videos on his research all the time. He shares a list of names. I start reading down the names, and fourth on the list, and I couldn't believe it. Fourth on the list is me. Fourth on the list is Edward Sturm. What? And it goes to edwardsturm.com. Goes to my site. And then I scroll up and I see there are some traditional indie hackers taking advantage of short form video. There's Cody Schneider, Nick Conley, and then again, Edward Sturm. And it says, one of the greatest indie marketers of all time has posted to TikTok and Reels literally every single day for the past 2 years. He now has over 100,000 followers on TikTok and Instagram. I was sitting at my desk reading this and I was speechless. And I said, you know what? This is so poetic. The brand that inspired me to create this podcast 500 days ago has posted this article that I'm in, partly because of the work that I've done on this podcast, because I've reused a lot of footage from this podcast for my TikTok videos and Instagram videos, some of which have gone really viral. And then this is the article that I need to read on episode 500 of this show. It's just amazing. I was so happy. I was super flattered. I sent this to my family. I was just really proud. I'm like, wow, just randomly in this article on a brand and a publisher that I love. And this isn't the first time that I've shared stuff from indiehackers.com on this show. I've shared lots of stuff from indiehackers.com in this show. All right, that is the prolonged introduction for episode 500 of The Edward Show. Normally, I don't really do introductions, but I think I had to share that. This isn't an SEO one. This is one about social media growth, using TikTok, using Instagram Reels. And Stefan Flanders, the author of This Is Right. I have posted every single day on TikTok and Instagram since starting November 1st, 2022. And I've learned a lot, and a lot of the great things are shared in this article. So I can vouch this is a great article. Here it goes. Meet the indie hackers killing it on TikTok. X has long been the home for indie hackers. It's where dignitaries like Peter Levels, Mark Liu, Damon Chen, and Ryan Hoover first burst onto the scene. They shared their tips and tricks, toasted their success, and poured one out for all of the failures. But nothing lasts forever. Building in public no longer shines as bright as it once did. And as such, the brightest stars of the new generation of founders are focusing their energy on the social media platforms of the new age. Platforms where, with enough savvy and brain rot, it's possible for a 19-year-old to earn $50,000 a month from a porn recovery app, a Zoomer who spends 4 to 8 hours per day on TikTok to scale a Spotify bedroom app to 10 million users in just 2 weeks, and a designer fresh out of college to earn $20,000 per month from a life reset app. I'm talking about none other than TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Why are founders now prioritizing short-form video over X? Well, there are 2 reasons. The first is simple. These platforms have a lot of users. YouTube has 2.5 billion monthly active users, Instagram 2 billion, TikTok a billion, X just 368 million. And to sweeten the pot even more, these platforms are now where the kids hang out. For the second reason, Peter Levels, as he so often does, provided the alpha all the way back in 2023. Peter Levels said, TikTok is great because you don't need an audience. In fact, someone without an audience often gets the same views as someone with an audience. TikTok is a perfect place to test mockups for startups because TikTok plays your video for 300 people to see if people like it. You can test for free as many times as you like. In other words, TikTok, Reels, and Shorts is a level playing field. As $50,000 per month founder and short-form video expert Alex Slater puts it, it doesn't matter if your account is brand new or if you have 0 followers. If you create content that hooks people, you have the same shot at getting picked up by the algorithm as anyone else. Combine the massive audiences and level playing field, and you have the perfect arena for new age founders. The main thing to know about these founders is that they do not fit the stereotype of an indie hacker. They aren't launching on Product Hunt. They aren't coders at heart who dread marketing. And they definitely aren't building B2B SaaS. Actually, some of them are doing B2B SaaS. B2B SaaS is perfectly. Stefan, you're awesome. I will say B2B SaaS, you can easily get crazy traction on TikTok and Instagram Reels. I'm seeing that actually from founders like Riley Brown.ai. He's using AI to build B2B SaaS. And he has an audience of business owners who he can sell it to. And actually, a lot of the people who buy my stuff, they are business owners themselves, and they discover my stuff through social media, through SEO, but also through social media. All right. But social media, all of this is so spot on. Raised by the internet, these founders were forged in the social media fire. They speak in memes, have a thumb that practically scrolls on its own, and perhaps the most different from the indie hacker of yore, almost exclusively builds for the general consumer. In this way, they are more similar to the OG app builders than the typical indie hacker. However, it is also this relentless focus on the consumer that makes these founders so powerful and relates them to the typical indie hacker. Like the great indie hackers of the past, this new age of founders is building for themselves. It's just that they are building looks-maxing apps instead of SaaS boilerplates. If you watch enough TikTok and Reels, you'll begin to notice patterns that the most successful marketers use over and over again. I really like this section, by the way. First and foremost, they post a lot. You will be hard-pressed to find a successful brand that doesn't post every single day, and many of the most successful ones post multiple times per day from dozens of accounts. For example, take the legal Delta 8 edible company Baked Bags. They used 19 different accounts to post 2,721 Reels. The result was 1 billion views and almost 1 million followers. The next thing you'll find is that almost all of their videos are short. I'm talking a few seconds long, like this reel from Rise that netted a cool 14.5 million views and 536,000 likes. And I checked out that reel from Rise, and it was so simple. It's catchy music, and it's 2 seconds. There's a hook, bro, that breakup didn't hurt me. Also, bro's phone screen, and it's just 4 apps, Tinder, Bumble, the Bible, and then Rise. And Rise is the app making this viral reel. And then underneath the home screen image, it says, bro's cooked. So there's more examples. Or this TikTok from Answers AI that pulled 1.3 million views and 29,000 likes. I looked at that one too. Really easy, really short. It was one shot. It says POV, your parents pay for your education, and it zooms into these 2 girls sitting on a computer in an auditorium, and one girl is using Answers AI. She's eating something, being handed food by the other, and she's using Answers AI to answer questions on her test. And it's very fast, very easy. And then the caption says, what the F is she using? Oh, she got 100%. Oh my God. But it's literally one shot, made so easily. A few seconds is all they need to reel you in, convey their message, and get you to convert. The best marketers also happen to be funny. 91% of consumers want brands to be funny, so no surprises there. But what's notable here is how these marketers are funny. They aren't like Dave Chappelle cracking jokes, but instead meme lords who have what seems to be the perfect meme for every situation, whether that's No Nut November or Tommy fucking Shelby. I'm so happy that he shared my friend Jason Levin. Jason Levin, he's a hardcore meme lord. He literally made memelord.technologies. He's making meme apps. He just came out with a meme mobile app. Jason Levin, and so he shared Jason Levin. That's great. However, they aren't the ones telling the jokes. They write it, sure, but they often employ creators to actually deliver the lines. This is a trick that David Park, the CEO of $4 million per year Jenny AI, talks about a lot. I think I even read that on this podcast. They're having creators deliver the lines. That's for Jenny AI. The idea is to put a spin on the traditional way influencer marketing is done. So whereas before you'd pay the creator to post advertisements for you on their page, these founders have creators post videos directly on their brand page. This way, the pitch will appear authentic, giving the brand account much better odds of going viral. Jenny AI used this method to turn a $4,000 investment into over 7 million impressions. And it's not just restricted to indie startups. Even big brands like Perplexity and ChatGPT make use of creators. And it's true, you can see big creators on the ChatGPT TikTok who made videos for the ChatGPT TikTok. Wow. Another thing you'll notice is that once they find a type of video that works, they use it over and over. In football terms, they run the same play until the defense stops it. For example, Days Chat, the Gen Z targeted messaging app taking over TikTok, and the App Store leaderboard posts the same kind of video literally every single day. I shared that in an episode. I shared this just a few episodes ago, in fact. That was episode number 488, Days Chat's viral marketing strategy. Death Clock AI does the same thing, as does Get Ahead, who was actually so successful that their competitor, Your Future, straight up copied their format and it worked for them too. Ultimately, you can only go as far as your product can take you, which is why the best marketers are almost always working with products that are inherently shareable. In other words, people who make videos of the product on their own accord. Think of it like SEO. You can do all the link building you want, but you'll never be able to compete with someone who receives backlinks every time someone uses their product. I say in Compact Keywords is my SEO program, compactkeywords.com, and I say in it, a great link building strategy, either do this yourself for free or pay someone a few $100s to make a micro SaaS, micro software as a service, and make sure it has a share function. Because if it has a share function, then people are going to send links from it. And it's a subdomain on your site. So now all of a sudden, people are sharing all these links to your site. You can literally use AI tools to build this yourself. So if you don't know how to program, Riley Brown has these excellent tutorials on how to build apps using Cursor, Claude, and Replit. Just these are AI tools, or you can use an existing freelance developer who's using these AI tools to become hyper efficient and make a micro SaaS. You can launch it on Product Hunt, or as this article suggests, just make a bunch of videos for it to have some users using it. Now you have users using it and they're sharing links. You can even do bottom of funnel SEO for this micro SaaS, and people will just use it and share links to your site. And it's a subdomain. So the article continues as Jamie Cho from the Spotify Bedroom app verse puts it, no trend truly becomes a trend until people we didn't hire start making videos. No trend truly becomes a trend until people we didn't hire start making videos, like the Harlem Shake or the Ice Bucket Challenge. These lessons all converge on a single point. The best TikTok marketers are absolute wizards at grabbing your attention. Every hook, cut, sound, and meme is fine-tuned with the sole purpose of forcing you to stop scrolling. It's not an easy job, but once you find the formula, you have basically found the formula to print money. If attention is the most valuable resource on the internet, then these marketers are the modern-day oil barons. What about us? If you're reading this, chances are you're not a 20-year-old spending 6 hours a day on TikTok, so you might be thinking that this is a waste of time that wouldn't work for you. You'd be forgiven for thinking this. It really does seem that there aren't many traditional indie hackers dominating TikTok. If you go through the indie page leaderboard, which ranks 50 indie hackers by MRR, the only ones really killing it with short-form videos are Sammy Toba, Zach Wilson, and Brides Made for Hire. Most of the rest don't even have TikToks, let alone make content. But that doesn't mean all hope is lost. There are some traditional indie hackers taking advantage of short-form video. Cody Schneider, founder of an AI content marketing startup, is all over short-form videos on LinkedIn. Nick Conley, a founder in the B2B sales space, is also a LinkedIn video aficionado. Edward Sturm, one of the greatest indie marketers of all time, has posted to TikTok and Reels literally every single day for the past 2 years. He now has over 100,000 followers on each. If you look at their videos or the content of Sammy Tolba and Zach Wilson, you'll notice that they have a much different style from our whiz kids. It's mostly just them talking to a camera, talking about something they learned or find cool. Yet they are still killing it. Why? Because even though they don't use memes, trending sounds, or fancy cuts, they are still very, very good at grabbing your attention. Simply put, their videos aren't boring. Thank you so much, Stefan. This is the beauty of short-form video, and it's why indie hackers who have never uttered skibidi in their life shouldn't write it off. It's a level playing field. It doesn't matter if it's a meme video, a faceless video, or just you chopping it up. And it doesn't matter if you have no followers or 1 million followers. If your video is good, it will get attention. Places to learn more. The best way to learn more about short-form video will always be spending hours in the trenches. So that means both watching videos and making videos until you find what works for you. However, if you don't yet have the time or mental fortitude to scroll for hours on end, I recommend following Guillaume, Walid, Jamie Cho, Edward Sturm, Alex Slater, Desmond, Joseph Choi, Viral TikTok Tracker. Ooh, TikTok Tracker is a great account. And Murata. And that is all for the article. Meet the indie hackers killing it on TikTok. And that is all for episode 500 of The Edward Show. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with me through 500 episodes of this show. I can't believe I'm here. 500 episodes. Such beautiful poetry. Literally finding this article on the site that inspired me to make this podcast, and I'm in it. And I was planning on sharing this article anyway, and then I see that I'm in it. Incredible. For everyone who's watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. For anyone who's listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you again tomorrow for episode 501. Oh, and Stefan Flanders, thank you so much one more time for including me in this. Bye, everybody. Bye now.